Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube page, X page, and Facebook page. My name is Ryan McGinley. Tonight, I'm delighted, as always, to be joined by Tony Haggerty. Celtic 4, Hearts 1 at Tynecastle was the full-time result. Goals from Nicholas Kuhn, Kyogo, then Kuhn, and then a double from Adam Idah off the bench. A tale of two halves is Idah, Kyogo, and Kuhn break Hearts. My name is Ryan. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Tony. Tony, what did you make of that game?
What she said in the headline, wasn't it? We didn't see that coming after the
Not at half time, no.
But I always felt Celtic had it in them to raise it a gear or two. And once they scored the first and they got the second so soon after, that just killed the game effectively as a contest. But they were very clinical in the second half. We hadn't seen so much as an attacking force in the first half. But even Kyogo missed a sitter prior to Celtic taking the lead. But a
great save from Craig Gordon as well, but he should be scoring.
He should be scoring, yeah, to be fair. But yeah, just delighted they got the job done, Ryan. 3 points ahead of Aberdeen in the title race, but more importantly, 11 points ahead of Rangers. And at this moment in time, you have to say that's pretty much an insurmountable gap. Here's hoping Celtic can tighten the screw even further, but they could only control, as we said before in the pre-match, they couldn't control what happened in Paisley and at Ibrox today, but they could control tonight, and they controlled it for the second half. Ryan's more, very much so.
It's quite a weird one because Celtic are by far the winners today, both in the contest against Hearts and in terms of the top three at the moment. They're definitely the winners. But you could actually say that Rangers actually gained a point on Aberdeen. I don't mean that in a joking way. They actually have managed to get a bit closer to Aberdeen due to the loss at St Mirren. That will not be welcomed by Rangers supporters and the Rangers manager at this moment in time in Philippe Clement. But Celtic went and did what they had to do tonight. They had to go out and get the 3 points. Those results were great today for Celtic. They really did suit Celtic in the narrative that has been made about this season. But they had to go out and do the business. They didn't do it in the first half, but my goodness, it was a 4-goal showing in the second half. They could have had more, but they really did get the job done when it mattered.
I said 4-0. I was nearly right. But I tell you what I did like, and one of the commenters has brought it up there, Alan Robertson. Totally. Bernardo, I made a point of writing about Bernardo in midweek, and I said he's champing at the bit to be. It's a matter of time before he gets an extended run. I think
he starts against Brugge for me.
Has to start against Brugge, because I think if he's on the basis of the evidence today, Arne Engels was toiling today, and Paulo Bernardo came on and showed exactly how to do it as a midfield.
Within 10 seconds of coming on. It might be just the way that Bernardo plays and presents himself. Now, players can come and they can perform in different ways. They can be quietly efficient in their work. And maybe looking at the underlying stats, Arne Engels was that. But from what I was watching of the game, and I don't think I'll be proven wrong, I don't want to call him an empty jersey, but I thought he was very, very poor tonight. Again, I thought he was anonymous.
Thomas Burns nails it there. He has to up his game. And there's a man coming on hungry to make an impact.
The only player coming on hungry, because Jan came on and was hungry too.
And Adam Idah came on as well and, played himself into manager's thoughts for Wednesday night against Club Brugge. Now, he'll probably start with Kyogo, but there was some stats today concerning Kyogo, and when Kyogo scored, he scored with his 10th touch of the football today. So that when Kyogo's not involved, he can be rendered ineffective. You and I both said his running and his movement was great, but when he's not getting the ball, he's not being effective. But he affected the game by scoring the first goal and missing what I deemed a sitter before it. He probably should have scored. You said it was a great save. I was a forward to trade, Ryan, so I would put it down as a bad miss. But that's just me. But yeah.
So I like my strikers doing, Tony. I like my strikers continuing to push on despite missing big chances. And it was a scrappy goal. But that's one of my favourite Kyogo goals of this season because it's scrappy and because he didn't give up on the chance and luck favoured them at that point. It was good luck, good karma for the good work that he'd put in before.
And I also like the fact that Idah came on and impacted it by scoring 2 goals. First one a nice angled finish, the second one a well-drilled penalty, having missed a penalty back in March. So, I really enjoyed Bernardo's contribution, and I'd be surprised if he wasn't in the starting lineup for Wednesday. But again, you leave it to the manager. But he certainly said to the manager, you can trust me in a game of that magnitude on Wednesday, and I would like to think that he might be one of the first names in the team sheet. I just love what Bernardo brings at this moment in time.
We were sitting here 8 months ago, Tony. Celtic had lost 2-0. They were down to 10 men thanks to Yang sending off, who also had a really good appearance off the bench today. Really think there's a potential for a really good player there if he keeps it going. But 8 months ago, Celtic were in a completely different spot. Rangers had lost 24 hours before against Motherwell at Ibrox. Celtic squandered their opportunity to close the gap on Rangers. Now this season, they're taking no prisoners at all.
No.
They're really just motoring on. I think they want this league wrapped up as soon as possible, and they're playing that way. They didn't play that way in the first half, I will say, and Hearts deserve credit for the way that they played in the first half. But the difference between now and probably next year for Hearts is they'll be able to do that for 70, 80 minutes, but they were tired after 45, and Celtic punished them for that.
Tell you what else is brilliant. See the goal, Kuhn's goal? That's counter-attacking football at its finest. Sweeping right up the park and scoring. And when the ball went to Kuhn, you thought, okay, what's he going to do? That's what he's going to do. Before you could even say, right, take a touch, steady yourself, he cracked it into the back of the net, high, and you're not saving that. And that's a man who, don't care what MD says, he's on his way to that German national team. He is motoring and is at the top of his game. And he wasn't particularly great today, but he affected that game and scored the killer goal, Ryan. Once that hits the back of the net, that's the game finishes a contest. It is a question after that of can Celtic score more?
Mm-hmm.
And they did go on. We scored a couple more. And I was delighted for Idah, who came on and got his goals. But, delighted for all the people that came on and impacted the game. James Forrest came on, won the penalty as well, celebrating a new deal. James for an extension to his deal. So still being able to make that impact, Ryan, that's a really strong Celtic squad because they weren't at their best today in that first half. Hearts had the best chances, couldn't score, and then they came out the second half, different Celtic, and when they upped their game, they ended up blowing them away.
To anybody that was watching us during the aftermath of the Kilmarnock game, that we were cut off quite early from the video. That'll probably be the same again tonight because our last train is at 5 to 12, so we'll need to probably catch that in the next 5 to 10 minutes. We'll try and go through as many of the talking points as possible. We spoke about the attack, spoke about Nicholas Kuhn, Adam Idah, great to see him getting on the score sheet, another 2 goals. Yeah. He's only going to get better as games go on. Delighted for him because it's been a wee while since he's scored. So good to sort of break that duck that's been emerging. Defensively, I thought that Greg Taylor had a shaky first half, but he solidified in the second half. Johnson had a quieter game, but he was solid again. But Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers, the two of them were absolutely tremendous again tonight. They deserved a clean sheet. Unfortunately, they didn't get one. But the two, and especially, actually, I don't want to single out the one because I think they come as a pair. Trusty and Carter-Vickers, this is looking like the beginnings of a really special partnership between the two. Now, we thought that Starfelt and Carter-Vickers was a great partnership. This could potentially surpass it, these two, because they have a real understanding with each other. Helps they're from the same nation. They play in the same national team. But they're great foil for each other. Carter-Vickers is quietly dominant. Yeah. But Trusty's got that pace. There was a point in the second half where he managed to catch up with the attacker just by being faster and opening up his legs. And yeah, it's just that defensive partnership is looking really, really impressive. No slight on Scales, but you want to see these two playing games going forward, don't you? Or as many big games going forward. Hopefully, with the way the league is going, that you can play Scales in those games and really chop and change when required. But at this moment in time, Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers are looking like one hell of a partnership, aren't they?
I think Trusty's shown why Celtic shelled out $6 million for him. Took a couple of games to settle. Now he's settled and he looks like a class act, but he's beside a classier act. Cameron Carter-Vickers is unflappable.
Big block in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, just throwing himself in front of that Alan Forrest strike, and didn't think twice about it, Ryan.
He doesn't.
We heard the crack of the ball hitting him.
Probably did more damage to the ball than it did to Carter-Vickers. It would be the equivalent of hitting it off of a brick wall, to be honest with you.
And but he's. I like my defenders to defend, Ryan.
I think he likes defending though as well, and it's shown. But he's graceful on the ball. I was saying that during the second half. He goes round the corner.
He's got a bit of elegance about him, and we were saying he didn't lose a header, and that's all I want my defenders to do. When the ball's in the air, win it. When the ball's in the deck, win it. But he's got a bit of gracefulness about him and a bit of elegance, and you were talking about that particular thing that he does when he kind of, he puts his shoulder in front of a player and then just seems to walk away with the ball at all times and just got that way of shielding it. And it's just an uncanny knack he has of just positioning his body in the right way and just walking away with the football. And, there's Burley centre forwards chasing him down, but he doesn't get doesn't get flustered, doesn't get harried.
Can I just bring this comment up from Frank Kennedy? He's saying that Trusty and CCV were all over the place in the first half. For me, they were the two that were keeping it together in the first half. I don't think they put a foot wrong between them in the first half, especially Carter Vickers with that block. It's a game of opinions, of course, and people that are watching the game, maybe perhaps on the telly, they maybe see different things. And I'd like to watch the game back and see if that was the case. But from where we were seated, they looked as if they were in control of what was going on. I think it was more the fullbacks that were having a bit of a struggle, maybe the midfield as well, but the two centre-backs were colossal for me, and they really did help in that overall effort and getting Celtic the 3 points tonight.
Frank's entitled to his opinion. If that's what he's seen, that's fine, but wouldn't dream of telling somebody what they saw. That's
a game of opinions.
It's what you and I watched, and we maintain that. Shanklin had a couple of chances. Blair Spittle had a chance as well, off the top of my head, that I can remember. And Hearts had only one couple of efforts on goal. The second half they scored with one. Mr. Drummond scored a real good goal. You're not saving that. He beat a top class goalkeeper, and Casper Schmeichel all ends up. But I didn't feel that Celtic were particularly troubled. I never felt like Hearts were going to score. Felt they had a lot of pressure, but never. Casper Schmeichel made saves I would expect them to make, Ryan. There's a difference, but I thought the central defence were very, very good. So, again, people see it differently, they call it differently, that's fine. So, as I say, I know what I watched, and I'm giving my opinion on what I watched. People can beg to differ and put their comments in, and that's fine. We encourage that.
The only foot wrong that Carter Vickers put in the game was when he lost his footing for like half a second where he was off his feet. I've never seen a guy get back to his feet so quickly. Yeah. He is locked in for the duration of a game. Is there any final thoughts that you want to bring up, Tony? I realise this is a bit of a shorter episode, but I am conscious of the fact that the ground could be quite slippery and we're trying to get back to get this train. You get any final thoughts on what happened tonight?
We spoke about it. Job done. It's been a kind of Carlsberg weekend for Celtic, isn't it? Their nearest rivals in the table, Aberdeen, dropped all 3 points, and their City rivals dropped 2. So you're respectively 3 points ahead of Aberdeen.
Rogers made that point as well, the fact that the players only came back into the side on Friday. So from Friday to Saturday, that's a very quick turnaround. And they passed. Other teams didn't pass today. No. Celtic did pass. They kept on going. They just keep on going. They've got that tunnel vision from now until the end goal, and they're showing that.
It's the start of the ultra marathon. 18 games, 67 days. Strap yourself in. They're off to a cracking start. They're off to a flying start.
And now it's the Champions League. The games don't get any smaller, do they? That's for sure. Can't wait. Going up against Club Brugge, who got a 7-0 win against St Truden today, I believe. A very big result. So a team coming into in a bit of form as well. Should be a cracking night at Celtic Park on Wednesday night. Looking forward to covering that with you guys. Hopefully you're there to join us, and you're there to join us for the morning briefings as well coming up. Thank you to the 300 people that have joined us. We really do appreciate it. Sorry for that shorter episode. I know it's only going to be around about 15-16 minutes. By the time we've done Rogers' quotes, Idah spoke to the media, James Forrest as well. Those quotes will be coming out in the next couple of days. Check them out on the website around about 10:30 on Sunday and Monday, respectively. We thought we would come on and do the video. It's better doing it here than doing it in the car at about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. We see the comments, we see what people say about those comments, especially in that time in the morning. Thank you very much to everybody that's joined us for this short show. If you want to support us a little bit more, Join our YouTube members channel, £2.99 a month. You'll receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Also press that subscribe button, completely free. You'll get notified when we do videos like these, pre-match shows, morning briefings, tactical analysis videos, interviews ahead of the games. Hopefully a Club Brugge one will be coming in the next couple of days. I need to scout somebody of a Belgian persuasion to come on and speak about Club Brugge. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody for joining us. Sorry it's a bit of a quicker show tonight, but just enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that Celtic are 3 points clear at the top, 11 points ahead of Rangers, and at just about the end of November. You know, half of the season gone, 11 points clear. You know, we're looking at really good totals by the end of the season if we can keep this going. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure as always. As I say, it's always result dependent, but it's been a good weekend of results, hasn't it? Especially if you're of a green and white persuasion.
Absolutely. 11 points clear of Rangers, 3 points clear of Aberdeen. It's been a pretty good weekend if you're of that ilk and if you're of that persuasion, Tony, as you quite rightly said. Thank you very much, guys. We'll speak to you on Monday with Hamish for the morning briefing. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm sure that you will, given the results that have transpired today. And yeah, thanks very much. We'll see you all on Monday morning. Have a very good night, guys.